The next panel to come to the stage, and while they are, I'd like to introduce the moderator of this panel, the Great Inequality Debate. Michael Fletcher is a national economic correspondent for the Washington Post, where he writes about issues including unemployment, state, municipal debt, and pensions. Previously, he was a White House correspondent, and he covered both the Obama and Bush administrations on topics ranging from the Iraq War to efforts to restructure Social Security. And I should say that his recent series around housing and home ownership, particularly with a laser focus on what has happened to Prince George's County, has been insightful and stunning and eye-opening. And so his reporting has been, I think, at the forefront of efforts to highlight the nature of the racial wealth gap. And we thank and welcome Michael Fletcher for moderating this panel.
Yeah, thank you, Maya, for that introduction. You're more than kind. For once, I'll start with a little bit of good news. I mean, there's not much good news, I think, around this topic, but the one flickering light in the tunnel that I do see is that inequality seems to be moving closer to the center of this country's political and public policy debate, which is great. I've been covering these issues for a long time, and never before have I seen so many politicians talking about it, so many sessions like the one today. So that, I think, offers some good news. But I think there's a big problem as well. There's no consensus in this country about what to do about inequality. You look at public opinion polls, people say they're concerned about inequality, but then you ask them, what should we do about it? People don't want to redistribute wealth. If you try to do it through the tax code, you get a big fight. Back in 1980, the top tax rate in this country was 70% for families earning today's equivalent of $500,000 a year. We just saw the big fight that happened a couple of years ago in Congress to raise the rate from George Bush's 35% to 39%. And the government was shut down, this, that, and the other. So I think there's a real issue there in terms of trying to bring together some kind of consensus, some kind of plan for closing this sort of gaping inequality gap. And I can go on and on, but our time's been compressed, so I'll let the experts talk about it. Now, I'm lucky because I only have to write about this stuff. They have to figure out what to do, and better them than me. To my right here is one of the great experts on this issue, Rakesh Kochhar, is it? Right, I should have asked that before. He's the Associate Director of Research at the Pew Research Center. He's an expert on trends in employment, income, and the wealth of Hispanic and immigrant workers. His research also focuses on the economic well-being of white, black, and Asian workers, American families, and the middle class. To his right is Jackie Johnson Bataan. She's Executive Director of the National Congress of American Indians. She's a member of the Raven Sakai clan of the Tlingit tribe. And to her right is Ann Price. Ann has spent 20 years in the public sector working on issues including hunger, child welfare, welfare reform, community and workforce development, and higher education. Currently, she is Managing Program Director and Chief Asset Building Officer for the Insight Center for Community Economic Development, which is dedicated to helping people and communities achieve and sustain economic security through research, technical assistance, and policy advocacy efforts. And finally, we have Deepak Bhargava. He's Executive Director of the Center for Community Change. Since 2002, Deepak has been running this nonprofit organization which empowers low-income people and people of color to change policies and institutions that affect their lives. He provides leadership on issues including poverty, racial and economic justice, and community organizing. And he has stewarded pioneering work on immigration reform. So that's our panel of experts, and we're going to start here with Rakesh.